Good morning, Chummerl. Hello. Can get rid of that. Can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh wait, no, we want the chat. Get rid of that. There we go. And here we go. So yeah, this is Suzerain. Kaladin submitted this as a dictator. And we're gonna check out what it's all about. Yeah, that was a little intro screen that Bummer put together for me. Kind of like what Jake has recently. I haven't used it that much, but every once in a while, you know, it's good to bring it out. So as I understand it, in this game, you lead a country. You are the recently elected president of a country, and you have to lead it through a series of crises, I suppose? Or you're trying to bring prosperity to your nation. I think we're sort of like vaguely East European-y. So we are Anton Rain, 4th president of Swordland. Anton Rain was elected 4th president of Swordland, and amidst a deep recession, demands for reform and external pressures. His victory followed a campaign focused on turning a new page and recovery from economic hardship, striking a chord with a divided electorate. Now, as his administration takes shape, uncertainty lingers in the halls of power. Rain faces a nation burdened by institutional fatigue, cautious optimism, and the quiet urgency of change. Maybe? I don't actually know what the gameplay is like at all, so we'll, I guess, discover that together. This is the Republic of Swordland. Here's our flag. We're a presidential republic. We have a population of 36 million. The economy is just in recession. Our regional influence is major power. And it's 1954. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Unfortunately, we cannot be the Kingdom of Riz, so I haven't bought the DLC. Yeah, the zoomed out version. It kind of looks like the east coast of like East Asia. You know, like this would be Vladivostok, and then this is sort of Korea, maybe. But anyway, let's start the game. I have seen Kaladin stream this a little bit. No Riz, I know. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You're my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Oh. Open your eyes. This world, you came from a wealthy family in the city of Lakovan, a middle-income family in the city of Holsford. Impoverished city in the city of Dare. Let's be loaded. A wealthy family in the city of Lakovan. Your parents named you Anton. As the only child of a successful businessman, you had the chance to grow up in a wealthy family. But you insufferable to the middle class. Life was easy at first, and you had the best education money could afford. However, things inside the Rain family changed due to the absence of your father. This affected your mothers and you negatively. Okay. The years passed. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced a historic revolution. Oh. The kingdom was no more. The Republic of Swordland was born. You did not fully understand. You were happy you had the day off. You were somewhat worried. I mean, it's middle school. I was happy I had the day off. Months after the Republic was proclaimed, life around you changed. You watched friends and family face uncertainty, economic hardship, scattered unrest and resistance from those tied to the old order. In this struggle, you envy those who escaped it all and wished for an easier path, easier resources. Saw both pain and perseverance and sought balance between the two. Felt the weight they carried and chose to shoulder even more. Let's go with the struggle. After graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. You chose law at Holsworth State University, economics at Lockhart Business School, a history at the Dare University of Culture. Let's be a historian who thinks because they studied history they know how government should be run. During the first year, you attended a lecture with David Whiskey. He was a well-known diplomat from the Foreign Ministry and the son of a president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why realpolitik is important for successful foreign policy. He argued that a strategy based on practical and material factors would be much more successful in reaching Swordland's ambitions. You agreed in principle. You questioned what you were being taught. Your only concern was passing the exams. Ironically, the realpolitik choice. Questioned what we are being taught. Question everything. Soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest, along with your best friend, Peter Vectern, your best friend. You decided to protest with the students. Avoid any confrontation. Let's protest. We'll get our start in politics. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Luderin declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You joined the students that slowly marched towards a large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. A student fell and was trampled as everybody started running away. You held your ground. Soldiers beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year. The coup split the students into two groups and caused frequent fights. Torture and imprisonment of any opposing voice became a daily routine in Dare. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join a human rights group, a student council, a political debate group. So I've decided we're a history nerd who thinks they know how everything works. So we obviously belong in the student council. The council was focused on increasing the student involvement in the campus, along with partaking in the budget. Through active participation, you gain budget management and leadership skills. In one of the meetings, Peter Vectern, is this our best friend? Our best friend. Introduced you to a classmate of his, Monica. The love of your life, you were immediately attracted to her intelligence, her beauty, her diligence. Her diligence. We want a steward wife. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swordish League of Women, an organization campaigning for women's rights. You told her you wholeheartedly support her cause, weren't particularly interested in women's rights, but asked her to dinner nonetheless. Let's support her ambitions. The politically charged environment led you to join the Red Youth, the Socialists, join the Young Swords, the Nationalists, stay away from any political organization. Ooh. You know, as a enlightened historian, we avoided getting being overly political, so we remained apolitical, stayed away from any political organization. The radio relayed that the communist general Rickard surrounded Lutheran and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves, Sortland plunged into chaos. The clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica, the love of our life, yes, helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. The chaos had to end. The charismatic colonel, Tarquin Saul, orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital, where the Lutheranist and Rickardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. A new constitution was written, and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a savior. He formed the United Swordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate in the first ever single-party elections. We voted for the United Swordland Pan? Yeah, let's say we voted for the United Swordland Party. The USP won the election by a large majority. The military government announced a 4-year restoration period to transform to an utterly civilian government. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica. You were both interested in marrying and starting a family. However, a letter arrived from the military, calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. It was time to serve your national duty. Devastating civil war from neighboring Welland quickly turned into a proxy war between regional world powers. The distinguishing major, Joseph Lancy, ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of Gumrin Outpost. I don't know. I assume there's more later on. I think this is the intro. Because we take over in the 1950s, and this Welland Civil War is in 1930. You could see your breath. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source, so the squad crawled forward in formation and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. You escorted them back. Let them slip through. We escorted them back. Nah. We let them slip through. After the patrol, Major Lancy arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of your command, calling you a disappointment. One of your squad members had reported your actions. After several months of scrubbing the floors as punishments, your duties ended and you went back to civilian life. You and Monica, the love of your life, decided to share your lives together after receiving the blessing of her parents. The ceremony was held in Hulsford, the capital of the Republic of Swordland. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job with the governing United Swordland Party. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of the refugee incident, but you still managed. Working for the ruling party was the easiest path to power. The financial compensation was too great to pass up. It was the best opportunity to choose the country for the better. Let's go with that one. You became the foreign policy assistant to one of the more experienced members of the Assembly. You worked long and hard, reviewing dozens of foreign policy plans late into the night. You were climbing the ladder. Tarquin Saul gave amnesty to the reigning factions of the Civil War and chose de-escalation and appeasement. The institutions and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives, such as a citizens-funded bills program to revitalize the economy, and a social labor initiative to help rebuild and improve society, and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. The first multi-party elections in the history of Swordland were held. President Tarquin Saul was elected once more. The preparation of a comprehensive trade agreement with Agnolia was occupying most of your personal time, but your significant contributions to the trade talks triggered an invitation to meet President Saul himself, who offered you a key position. You were to become the youngest member of the Assembly. You accepted right away. You accepted with doubts. No, obviously we need a learned historian in the parliament. We accepted right away. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with the influential circle. You needed allies, so you brought on Peter Vecton, your best friend, as your right-hand man. The birth of your son, Frank, your son, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed work to spend time with your family, sacrificed family to improve positions in the power. You sacrificed family time to improve your position in the party. Just like your father once did, you prioritized work over family, along with Peter Vector, your best friend. You accomplished many great things for your party. At home, Monica, the love of your life, and Frank, your son, felt your absence. Meanwhile, President Saul increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the USP. The cracks began to show. President Saul barely secured the majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the next year, the Swordfish people grew increasingly discontent with corruption and the worsening quality of life. Economic growth was slowing down. Meanwhile, calls for the United Swordland Party Congress became louder as a leadership struggle started to brew. You watched from the sideline, kept supporting the president, joined the internal opposition. We kept supporting the president. Only President Saul could lead us to victory. The contender for party leadership was Ewald Alfonso, a reformist and talented business magnate with a growing follower base within the party. President Saul noticed your attempt to secure votes for him and approached you with a lucrative deal. Oh, you had a meeting with him. The president offered you the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade in the next government if you backed him in the upcoming vote. Of course, Mr. President. The Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the United Swordland Party were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. You voted for Tarkin Saul. Fortunately, Tarkin Saul lost the leadership vote to Ewald Alfonso by a small margin. During the Congress, Saul announced he would retire from politics at the end of his term and appointed Alfonso as vice president. The systems he had established were to stay much longer. His achievements wouldn't be forgotten. You should have stopped the balance fire. Yeah. We're happy that Saul has finally leaving. We're troubled by the departure of Saul didn't care about who was in charge. I was troubled by the departure of Saul. A month later, your daughter was born. Monica, the love of your life, named her Dina, your daughter. She motivated you during a tumultuous period in the party. As the vice president and leader of the USP, Ewald Alfonso began dismantling the old organization and structures established by the USP, such as the State Educators Corps and the Swordfish State Corporation Bill. The general election was approaching. The United Swordland Party was under new leadership. Joined the party effort and campaigned for him, or did your best not to help him? We did our best not to help him. This is the man who betrayed Colonel Saul. During the general elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary. He was replaced by the more popular figure, Franz Richter, a new popular figure from the People's Freedom and Justice Party who currently serves as its leader. The damage had been done. The new economic policies and extensive privatization program proposed by Ewald Alfonso secured an election victory for the United Swordland Party. Over the following years, you did your best in order to make Swordland a better place, tried all that was necessary to climb up the ladder, dedicated yourself to the party and its success. Did your best in order to make Swordland a better place. The presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in democratic and law and advancements in liberal democratic values. However, due to infighting and disorganization, continental economic tensions, and fast-track privatization was followed by a severe economic recession. This sounds very familiar. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but the unfair election system hampered opposing efforts to campaign. You thought that your party could not survive another crisis. Worried about the economic recession. Worried about your reputation would be tarnished along with Alfonso. You're worried about the economic recession. With Peter's help, your presence in the USP grew. The two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents to your side. You became face of a new wing of a party. Step by step, with the adequate planning, your wing took over leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You blamed Alfonso for the crash on television. Bribed and extorted Alfonso's inner circle. Advised Alfonso to step down. We advised Alfonso to step down. He listened to your advice. Alfonso conceded his leadership struggle, and the party eventually voted you in because of your indisputable influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as your running mate. It was your turn. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to enact democratic reforms, preserve national values. Ooh. Alright, what would student council obnoxious history student do? Enact democratic reforms. The people are tired of empty promises. We need fundamental change in our institutions and government. A solid and transparent democracy awaits us. Brothers and sisters, a new constitution and a new age upon us. The broadcast ended. On election day, millions went out to cast their votes. It was time to face the truth. President Rain. Oh, we get to change our looks. Could be balding. Yeah, Baronomics. Long hair, bald, movie star, rebellious, stylish, 20. Gentleman's hat. We'll be balding. Facial hair. Yeah. We've never seen this figure before. Yeah, this looks good. Attire. This maroon suit. Swordland first. Tuxedo. Grand. Let's go with the maroon suit. We could just have the office. Accessories. Ooh, thick black glasses, brown glasses, thin glasses. Let's have a pipe. Yeah, every good leader, father of the nation, smokes a pipe. Yeah. Alright, election campaign promises. As Anton Rain, you have made consequential promises to the people of Swordland to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. Hey there, test term. Economic direction. After the recent market reforms and the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems, with indecision and turbulence, causing the population to demand direction. It could promote the planned economy or promote market economy. Let's go with a market economy so that we can get newer and better pipes. As Anton Rain, you have made consequential promises to the people of Sordlin to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. The global rivalries between capitalist Arcasia in the west and the monarchy of Rumburg in the north and the communist United Contana in the east are intensifying. Sordland has the potential to align with others or lean towards neutrality. Let's remain neutral. Sordland for Swordlanders. This way we can, get deals with both the commies and the capitalists. Seems like a good plan. As Anton Rain, you have made consequential promises to the people of Sordland to gain their votes in the 1953... Immigration policy. The last 5 years, Bludish, Wezek, and Agnolian immigrants flocked to Sordland due to the relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Ewald Alfonso. Oh, Daniel Alfonso. As a result, these tensions are causing requests for political solutions. Retain and relax immigration. Well, if Alfonso is doing it, we should do the opposite. We'll toughen immigration laws. So our turn focus. The once praised public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks. Student to blah blah blah. Okay. Defense. Law and enforcement. Health. Okay, so we can do education, defense, law, or health. Let's get edumacated. If we're very smart, we can figure out how to make more money and better pipes. Yes. 2 weeks had passed since we won the election. And I was about to be sworn in as the fourth president of Sordland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony, cheering my name. The die was cast. Distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous... Oh, cool. Executive branch of the Swedish government is situated. Okay. Okay. Top of the famous Hill of Pride. Okay. I looked at my family, my son and daughter, Frank. My son? Oh. Dina, her next to Monica, the love of your life, my wife. Her eyes were glimmering with pride. Then I turned towards the key people who made it all possible, of course. Saw my previous rival and former President Ewald, who gave me a slight nod. Arkansas was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. The time for the oath has come. I am ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. I do solemnly swear. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of President of Sordland. And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. The people and Constitution of the Republic of Sordland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. Thank you. It is an honor. my fellow swords, dear citizens of Swordland. The idea of unity, the current dire situation. Current dire situation. We are enduring economic hardship like never before. Our nation is falling apart. Our people, we suffer in this dire situation. If we stand together, we will prevail. She's plague us our capabilities. Our workers are no less productive than a decade ago. Our capable minds are no less inventive. Our products and services no less requested than they were last week, last month, or last year. We will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. The future awaits us. Swordland is above all in the world. First, we must rewrite our broken constitution. Now, I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. Let's make Swordland great again. Change now, not in the next decade or years. Today! Our capacity as a nation has never been greater. Hundreds of thousands cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden all at the same time. Raise fist. Wave. Enjoy the moment. Let's wave. I waved at the crowd, which made the people cheer louder. Took a long look at the people of Swordland to burn this moment into my memory. I don't know. We'll find out. One of the presidential guards came by to notify me that it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadilla with flags of Swordland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Serge Wolkener. Hello, Mr. President. Driver and bodyguard. Okay. I still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing my new title made me smile even more. If you'll allow me to introduce myself, I am Serge, your new driver. Hello, Serge. Nice to meet you, Serge. It is an honor. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing you inside. I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. And to move, on the way, Serge proceeded to explain his duties as driver. As minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thought again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly gestured out the window. Isn't it a beauty? The Maroon Palace. He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-colored domes. It was so bright, I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I am reminded of my duty to this nation. It is in good hands now. So do I, Serge. It is the beating heart of the nation, after all. We all owe a great debt to the men who led the country here. It's just the building, Serge. So do I, Serge. It is the beating heart of the nation, after all. Well said, Mr. President. The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, and stopped in front of the doors. Got out of the car, opened the door. Have a great day, Mr. President. A Morgana West Corps. You referred to the famous Swedish phrase from the times of revolution. A Morgana West Corps, Vectern sis da, which meant morning will come, victory is close. Vectern sis da. I made my way upstairs through the extravagant quarters of the palace. Marble and graved wooden finishes decorated the interior. Okay. Could it be? Is this gameplay? Huh, okay. Okay. Gameplay in my visual novel? I guess we should click on this exclamation mark. Let's see the information. Oh, this is our capital. It has logistical issues. It's an industrial city. Majority Destinurity? Mostly Swordish. Need more trains? Yeah. Perhaps? What's this exclamation mark? Ah, briefing on the current political situation. Peter Vector. Where are you again? Okay. He was struggling to hold back his smile. We did it, Anton. We won. So of your life. Yes. Well, all those years with our noses to the grindstone paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a damper on his usual raucous charm, but today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top 2 buttons of his shirt. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you? Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. Gestured to the slight pouch that protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we'd be sitting here in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. Well, let's celebrate it then. I got my hands on something special for us. An Elvery Maroon, 30 years old. We will celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. This is not the time to celebrate, Peter. We have work to do. Alright, so we must be dutiful to the service of Swordland. Yes, I agree. We've got things to do. We can let loose at the ball. Let's move on with the meeting. We'll be talking about our political strategy for this term. Lucien and I had a meeting with the party and the reformists. We mostly see eye to eye, but I would want to know what you think. I hope things are looking good. Great, let's get this over. Let's go over this when Lucien arrives. Let's see if I see eye to eye. Chief Strategist. Doors swung open. Yusungulli, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp bird-like features. Poured a glass of water and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Gentlemen. The tall case lock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you are exactly on time. Hello, Peter. He very slightly bowed his head. Let's see, Lucien. Lucien, how are you? I am ready and able, sir. Spoke in soft-clipped tones that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of Swedish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus? Bernard Circus is the Swedish poet, novelist, communist politician. Okay. Are becoming more popular. Everyone is expecting us to bring change like the last government did not. Believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I'll move into the details of the demands shortly. Our responsibility is to democratize our broken system. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve our country. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute the changes we need to make good for... We need to listen to the people if we want to serve our country. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the Assembly to give their support to drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the reformist wing inside our party is still a majority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Franz Richter. The USB reformists aren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain majority in the assembly. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally. Well, maybe we should read the news. Longsol campaign bill has once again Grand National Assembly. By Swordland's dire situation. Swordland today. Another great win for the USP, who managed to do some of the general vote. Okay. Economists. And Solon. How dare you be opposed, President Solonomics. A new era began for Swordland as it holds many questions. Our top economic analysts, with consultation from the National Business Council, have released a comprehensive report on the performance of the past 20 years. Okay. Here, reduction in industrial production output. Blah, 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 blah. The two most productive consecutive years had been when the privatization program of Alfonso began in 1949. Planned economy must take the advance of planned economy proponents with a pinch of salt, otherwise he could find himself in the same spot of Tarkin Sol. Restructure the infrastructure. Successful medical infrastructure projects from United Contana. Okay, commies and Valgsaland. Also commies, okay. Is there any truth to the success? Fruitful in short term, but even more so in long term, especially if they focus on linking economic nodes. Should be to integrate the world economy, reap the benefits of global trade, economic growth and income inequality in this country won't be fixed otherwise, okay? Campaign finance build. Yeah. I always started the stream right when I normally start my workday. I had to use up some time off before the end of the month, so you get daytime stream. The head of the right-wing National Front Party. Okay. Radical. Another USP president. How many times will people fall for the same trap? We've seen this before with Colonel Saul, who supposedly saved this country and brought stability in times of chaos. His stability, however, meant a life of oppression. Any opposing voices were silenced, and many were persecuted. Next was Alfonso, who was elected as a liberal reformer to bring change. As the third USP candidate becomes president, it is high time to realize that real change won't come from their party. Okay. Rumberg coming south. Our foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military diplomatic developments of Rumsburg. He trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Swordland, Welland, and possibly Agnolia. Annexation of Dome many decades ago was just the beginning. Rumsburg seems to be on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Mercopa. Volksland? Ah, this is Rumsburg. Okay. Well, surely we can make common cause with Agnolia and Wellen. Right, let's continue our conversation now that we've read the news. Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally. He's definitely key in this. Reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, ensure the Supreme Court is independent, take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. Yeah, but I don't know how, like, actually important that is, but I guess we'll find out. To support the reformists, we need a proper balance of power in this country. We must listen to their demands, otherwise we are no different than the previous administration. I won't allow them to influence me. We will shape our own future. Let's go with I support the reformists. I agree. We can't ignore the winds of change at all. Is Peter Vectorn just like a yes man? The Old Guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his aligned judges have great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. The court also has a final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. Must break the power of Supreme Court one way or another. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. I agree, the Old Guard won't like this, though. A comprehensive reform that would make the reformers happy would mean maintaining a balance between all branches of government. Which means removing your absolute veto as well. The reformers demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We can figure it out. Our party still holds 130 of 250 seats in the Assembly. We've got the power. However, the reform of the Constitution, we must receive the 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 160 votes, and a simple majority in the Supreme Court. Okay. After we have settled on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get the 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USB, we will reach out to the other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with a reform committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. We'll write a more democratic constitution with the reformists. Key thing here will be strengthening the power of the Assembly, which we already lead with a majority. Yes, the division of power needs to be revamped for a better Swordland. According to the initial draft, there are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for discussion. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Second, the President's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. I have no problem with these clauses. Let's work with the reforms. Yes, sir. You seem nodded. We'll form a reform committee together with all the parties and start reaching out to the stakeholders in the Assembly and the Court for a new constitution. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Another important point, we must be aware of the Lothenberg group. Lotherberg. The Lotherberg Group is a private non-government organization which assesses the economic conditions of Swordland and the globe. Walter Tusk, who was elected by a majority vote, has a vague structure and limited leadership roles, but the spokesman, de facto leader of the entity. They cover topics such as economy, security, blah blah blah. Okay, so it's like some giant conglomerate of corporatists. The oligarchs. Okay, oligarchs, great. Convene under this order. Okay, so it's the Lothberg group is the oligarchs. Okay, Conrath Caronti. Okay. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their parquet task. What is the National Business Council? Okay. Are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk. To businessmen. I won't be bought. It won't happen. I'll enter dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy, and snobby capitalists run the country. I won't be bought. It won't happen. I want to work with them anyway. I mean, we should talk to these people. And we do need economic reform. The economy is in danger. Yes, true, I did. Let's talk. Let's talk to them. It doesn't mean we accept. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk to businessmen. It's always easier for the administration to have businesses support. As far as I know, Conrad's son Marcel has strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. The group's influence is an important force, one that we should use to our administration's advantage. I just don't know which one to choose here. The group is dependent on our economic policies. They can't move a finger without us. If we can get them to side with us, it all depends on what benefits we can offer and what the leader wants. Okay. We tread carefully on all sides with all power players, sort of our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it's quite limited. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. With the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our generous staff. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. It is sound to listen to them, but they have have very biased and narrow opinions. Nationalism clouds their mind. General Kruger is a specter of the past. General Kruger. Oh, look at this guy. Vulcan Kruger is Swordish 4-star general, the current chief of the Swordish Armed Forces. Imperial Army, holding positions such as colonel and major, supported General Luderin's military coup after Luderin's mass executions under Colonel Saul. Okay. Defense Minister Josef Lancy is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger. The fact that obviously can change between our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. What a potato! Look at this guy. Josef Lancy is a Swedish national security professional who serves as the Minister of Defense. He may be a potato, but he's our potato. He also became a popular figure after the wars. He's still well respected among nationalists. Okay. If we act strongly against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucien, we need to tread carefully. Lucien looked at his watch. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon, sir. I will keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. Lucien and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising far away on the horizon. Okay. Constitution amendments require Assembly and Supreme Court. According to Article 5 of the Constitution, an amendment may be proposed by members of the Assembly with at least 150 signatures, a 2/3 majority vote in the Grand National Assembly, and a simple majority vote in the Supreme Court is required for the amendment. Okay. Defines a member of honor title. He is a permanent member of the Grand National Assembly. Okay. The only member of honor is Tarkin Saul. Huh. Okay. Justices are not held individually responsible for the actions performed in the exercise of their duties. There are no limitations on the number of terms the president can serve. Yeah, I'm fine with unlimited terms. According to Article 18 and 51, the president may issue decrees on political, social, and economic issues that would carry the force of law. Okay. New constitution, political party needs a minimum of 10% of the total national vote to win seats in the Grand National Assembly. Okay. The president appoints ministers of the council, blah, 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 blah. Okay. He's not responsible for his actions, blah, blah, blah. May veto bills. Reform Committee. Reform Committee has been convened to engage in the extensive discussion of potential revisions and updates to the Constitution. Okay, good. Bludish Freedom Party banned. Former President Tarkin Saul declared the Bludish Freedom Party, or BFP, to be an illegal criminal organization due to their secessionist activities. Any suspected member of the party shall be arrested without trial. Any event, operating, or organization suspected to be colluding with the BFP will be disbanded and its partakers arrested. You're sounding a little harsh there, Saul. Special Zone of Bergia. The Special Zone of Bergia is currently structured as a special zone and has a different governance structure from the rest of the country. After the bloody revolts of the separationists, to eliminate the security threats to the region and maintain peace, there are no municipal elections within the special zone. It is governed by a governor with expanded powers from the city of Dare, who is usually appointed by the president. It is not in the jurisdiction of the Interior Ministry. Ah, okay. Seven states that every sword is equal before the law. Okay. Swordish's legal system is facing a significant backlog in the courts. Face extreme sexism both in the workplace and at home. Okay. The Blutish Sordlin has a complex relationship with his Blutish population, with discrimination and equal treatment being a persistent issue. The Blutish people continue to face systemic barriers to education, employment, and political representation. Okay. Judicial rivalry. Okay. Some human rights. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. We have the freedom of the press. Okay. Economy. Alfonsonomics. Sordlin's economic landscape underway. Blah, blah, blah. Shifting country from planned doctrine to a more market-oriented approach. This places Sordlin in a unique position, straddling the realms of two distinct economic systems. It lies in striking a balance between these ideologies and harnessing the potential benefits while mitigating any adverse consequences. Okay. Alright. Ooh, that's a lot of red under the economic situations. Has been neglected for years, resulting in outdated, poorly maintained infrastructure. Okay. It's called poverty. Okay, yeah. Tax evasion. I haven't even made any economic decisions yet. This is a concerning issue that needs to be addressed in order to ensure. Okay. Previous government attempts to solidify trade relations were unsuccessful. Okay. The region's economy is declining at a rapid rate due to the lack of investment, resulting in increasing crime, homelessness, and unemployment. Okay. Rapid decline due to lack of investment. The England region is in a crisis due to lack of investment. Okay. Decreasing business investment. Tourism at average activity, less than at level. Okay, welfare. Right-in welfare principle. The long-standing welfare principles that have traditionally guided provision of welfare services are in an aristocracy are currently under scrutiny and evaluation. Okay, voluntary vaccination. Okay, freedom in curriculum. Teach creationism or evolution. The educational philosophy. Okay, encourages critical thinking among students. Alright. Situations. Overburdened welfare system. The welfare system Swordsland is currently facing significant challenges due to a variety of factors. Adequate funding, political mismanagement. Many vulnerable individuals and find it increasingly difficult to access support they need to survive. Okay. Low quality rural healthcare. Rural areas in Switzerland has been facing major challenges. Basic hygiene. Okay. Inaccessible rural education. Inconsistent curriculum. The varying opinions of different governments have resulted in a lack of consistency. Students may receive incomplete education. Yeah. Solace education, with schools and universities providing solid understanding of our founding father, Tarquin Sol, students will be able to learn about the values, principles, and history that shaped our country. Through this education, they can develop a deep appreciation for their heritage. Okay. Good urban institutions. To ensure the well-being of the citizens, well-funded welfare institutions in urban areas. Okay. So just leave the rural areas and come to the urban ones, and it'll be fine. State security privileges. So love of our life, yes. That's gonna be on the blah, blah, blah. Okay. Security situations. Corruption. The pervasive corruption in Switzerland has created a culture of inefficiency and undermined the rule of law. All levels of society. Okay. Illegal immigration. Switzerland is currently facing significant challenges with the increased immigration and lack of clear policy on how to handle it. Organized crime. Okay. Dispute with the governor of Bergia. Immediate BFF threat persists. British Freedom Front persists. Okay. Diplomacy. The Alliance of Nations stands as a beacon of global collaboration, tirelessly working to maintain peace, security, and cooperation among the nations. Through diplomatic channels, blah blah blah. Okay. OMEC number. The Organization of Mercopan Economic Cooperation, of which the Republic of Switzerland is a member, plays a pivotal role in stimulating economic progress and fostering continental trade. Okay. Neutrality. Okay. Rumberg expansionism. Well, situation Mercopan, blah blah blah. Lack of allies. Foreign men, energy influence. Influential OMEC member. Yeah, can be some green things. Okay, so there's some good stuff. Oh, we didn't even look at the military. Compulsory military service. We have the draft. Okay, gendarmerie under defense. The law enforcement organization stands as a bulwark in pursuing security and public order. Fortifying law enforcement. Okay, what are our situations? Military interference in politics. It has a history of political involvement. Outdated military equipment, which has been in use for several decades. No longer capable. Okay. Large reservist pool. And our generals are experienced. Okay. Well, at least we have experienced generals. Economy is danger. My gosh, there's a lot. Let's go back to the national map, I guess. What's this? Arvery, small city. Okay. Read the report. The mayor of Arvery reports a lack of adequate infrastructure. The report calls attention to the low levels of productivity growth in the region of England. Okay. Esterd. The Nargis region. Gas field discovery. Grid corporation field, blah blah blah. Now, new gas field discoveries in Narvel. Let's enroll the broader energy landscape. Okay. Could get into this gas. In Nargis. Traffic reports that the port of Nargis, Kaladin is no longer the busiest Mercopa continent, falling behind the third position. For our administration, it still has the potential to shine. Well, the controlling possibility coming. Okay. Increasing in homelessness. On the Blutish people. Oh dear. Okay. Well, that's not good. Blah, 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 is organized march promoting ecological practices and nature preservation. Okay. Arcasian Treaty Organization. ATO. ATO. Blah, blah, blah. Alliance of 14 countries led primarily by Arcasia is issued. Contana Security Pact. NATO. Oh, sorry, ATO's commitment to championing human rights remains unwavering. Blah, 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 blah. Are endangered. Okay, whatever. Human rights nerds. Republic of Agnolia. Congratulations for Pinion Van Horten. Prime Minister Van Horten congratulates us on our election. Sends wishes to continue trade partnerships between our countries as equal partners, as opposed to earlier trade deals which he believes gave Swordland unfair advantages. Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe. What does Wellen have to say? President Smolak. Oh, what a happy chappy. Sent his congratulations, blah blah blah. Wish for a cooperative. Normalize the planetary situation between the two countries. Oh, that sounds good. Republic of Lesbia. Blah blah. Where's about the threats of encroaching Malenivism. Communists by Content Revolution in Leon. Chavatangakwuna, more commonly known through his nickname Maleniev. Malenev's blah blah blah. Blah. Carlos of Carlos Marcia's theory of Marcian socioeconomics. He supported founding blah blah blah. Oh, okay, so this world's Lenin, Malenievism. YouTube's blah blah blah. Or maybe Maoist? Anyway, commies. Influence of united Continental from the East, emphasizing the importance of unity in our continent. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Democratic Republic of Valsgad. Chancellor Hegel. Looks like a good guy. Sent his congratulations on your great victory and wish for close cooperation between our countries in the future. Signal concessions from Volksland in case of a promising trade deal. He also congratulated Swedish democracy for the successful elections and warned us about the threat of Arcasia's growing influence poses for Mercopa. Ah, yes, the completely not NATO. The Republic of Arcasia. Okay. Holsford. Oh, okay, more reports. A recent update from Holsford. Growing concerns about escalating traffic congestion linked to the city's burgeoning population, rapid urban expansion. Large scale land-based logistics hubs, blah 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 blah. Unclear. Police report on the HSU fire. Fire broke out in the Academic Administration building of the Holsford State University. Indicates a near complete destruction of employee records from 1890 until now, along with the original copies of internationally recognized academic research destroyed. Yeah, that sounds very bad. Public opinion report. People's views on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Have resulted in a massive increase in demand for democratic reforms. Okay, so we want to do the democratic reforms. General staff convened right after the selection of congratulate your victory. Made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chances of military confrontation in eastern Mercopa and requested support strengthening the military. Okay. GNA prepares tourism, Grand National, blah blah blah. This act aims to enhance the cultural and tourism appeals of several cities. Yes, this is a good idea. Okay. Tourist money is free money. Well, I mean, there's some costs, but so long as we keep out the Airbnbs, we're good. The Guild of Royal Allies. Uh-huh. Military overwhelming, relations unfriendly. Content is security pack. I'm more worried about Rumberg than any of these other nerds. Alright, well, let's see what's going on with the... Oh, actually, we should read the news. Fire strikes the Holsford University. Occurred in the evening. Committee for Reforms. Okay. Campaign bill, fair representation in the assembly. Sure, more proportional allocation of public funds, more accurately reflecting blah blah blah. Okay. Alfonso abandons Lothbrog's executive conclave. Has announced his departure from the exclusive Lothbrog group. Oh, okay. The Swedish National League. Okay. Decades after the infamous Ism incident. Foundation. Okay. New unconforming challenges to the official state narrative. Spread anonymous former Black Battalion sources. Incident was not an act of foreign aggression to the Swordland. Okay. The Kingdom of Riz refutes Pale's retort in Aureus Gasfield dispute. Okay. Hey there, Kaladin. We are dealing with the early information dump. We've decided to pursue democratic reforms and create a more equal distribution of power. An hour of information dump, yes. Briefing on the current economic situation. All right. Simon Hall, Gus Manger, and Lilius Graf was about to arrive at the White Room. Lilius Graf, Minister of Rural Development. Simon Hall, Minister of the Economy. The White Room for a scheduled economic meeting. This was the room in the Maroon Palace where all important meetings were held. Two assistants arrived first, carrying a heavy projector. They stood with it by the door, waiting for the minister to enter. From the hallway, I heard Lilius Graf's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think that such an economically advanced area is more in need of investment than Anglin? Lilius, my interior minister, strode in. She was clad in shades of brown and beige, the only spot of color a bright yellow Dassner's cross on her necklace. Gus followed close behind. Don't be an idiot, Lilius. What about the unemployment crisis in Greater Holsford and Gelsland regions are going through? These areas are our economic heartland. Gus curled his hands into fists. The Minister of Agricultural and Rural Development Hunter hadn't changed since his days in the Alfonso administration, but Muir had his reputations for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simon Hall, Minister of the Economy, stepped between the two ministers without looking at either of them. He cleared his throat. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. What's this debate about? Just a disagreement in eternal economic strategy, President Rain. I'm not sure if I would call it just a disagreement, Lilius. Lilius, can you explain the situation? Mr. Manager proposes that we should invest in already developed regions. Meanwhile, many cities like Anglin, Luxembourg, or Arvory still don't have basic commodities delivered on time. Gus, what's your take on this? Could you elaborate? Of course, the argument is simple. Anglin, our weakest region, both in terms of economic and social support. We should support the city of Arvory and its respected mayor. How impartial can you really be? Simon was observing the argument. Why are you questioning her impartiality? The snake of a woman is the former mayor of Arbery, and Eric Neal is her is her successor. Her argument could be biased. Gus, dear, my arguments are proven by simple economic data. Our poorest and least developed region is England. The facts are clear, but it seems to me that you'd rather resort to name-calling and push your agenda. Figures are being skewed in Nargis to make it look like a developed region. For example, in truth, it is the poorest region of all. Simon stepped in. I would like to put a stop to this debate. We will discuss it all calmly and logically. Lilius and Gus went silent. Simon pulled a silk handkerchief out of his pocket and briefly wiped his glasses. My staff and I have comprehensively analyzed every aspect of... He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both of whom were now visibly struggling to hold up the heavy projector. Oh, we can put that here. He pointed below the painting of President Saul. Assistants placed the projector next to the table and installed a white screen on the wall. Leave now. I mean, thank you, and please leave now. The cabinet room... has never had a way with people, but his facility with numbers made him the most sought-after economic specialist in Swordland. Looking at his slides, he always carried documentation around with him. We will wait. Lilius leaned on the table and spoke. Simon, what happened to the new police station construction in Esterd? While going through his briefcase, he paused for a moment to answer. Got stalled due to a government property boundary issue. I have been meaning to look at it. I can take a look at that one. Esther needs all the security help it can get. Sure, more time for me to spend on analysis. There have been some developments about the Suzerain losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank. Put enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was a significant cause for concern for our administration. What would you like to know about the current economic situation? What is our GDP and debt situation? More debt than GDP, okay. Seems not great. It's still hard to fathom that we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. Past 3 years were tough. What is our unemployment and inflation rate? Unemployment has skyrocketed and is now at a staggering 16%, and inflation is at a relative high of 10%. Unemployment is increasing crime and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. The inflation isn't helping our average citizen either. What is the status of the recession? The economy has been in recession of about -6% the past year. The average GDP has dropped from SR 15,000 per capita to SR 10,000 from 1951 to now. The administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better. We have all the information we need. Let's move on to the economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stack in front of him in an orderly manner and took a final look at his notes, clearing his throat. As you can see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. The extensive privatization program of Alfonso and key foreign direct investments left us a large budget surplus, which we can use to stabilize the crisis. The primary subject we need to settle is what general path we will take in our turn. Solonomics-based nationalization happened in the 30s, and Alfonso's privatization began during the 40s. What will our administration focus on? But where's the puzzle? Yes. One of our main promises was to promote a free market economy to stop the recession. To be frank, I believe it is the only way out of the recession. I still do not support it. Why promote the private sector when we have qualified state-owned enterprises? Because the lack of competition has made them inefficient. Simon nodded. What are the consequences of the free market? The more economy we control, the better we can manage the recession. What are the downsides of a planned economy? I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a bit visual novelty. At least so far. I mean, I haven't seemed to make any real decisions yet. But I mean, we're choosing like responses to questions, and then that seems to have an impact on the events that happen later. But it is interesting. I've been enjoying it. What are the consequences of the free market? Yeah, I'm getting that feeling. What are some of the consequences of the free market strategy? There are not many, but one could say that we are much more likely to be influenced by the world economy. It's more important to think about this subject because the upswings of the world economy will reflect good on ours too. Yes, and when the economy crashes, we go down with it. Structural problems of Solonomics were going to lead to a recession according to the prediction at the time anyway. Either way, even if we pick one of the doctrines, we retain the option to make economic choices on a case-by-case basis. That is, however, not recommended in my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan. Finally, something we can both agree on, Lilius. There's another important factor which has direct impact on our economy: superpowers. We have done well not aligning ourselves with any one of them. Economically speaking, in an isolationist policy overall, can only work if we were to reap the benefits of both spheres and their rivalry. This is very dangerous to attempt, but still possible. We must be very cautious. There are schemes being devised about Swordland, and we cannot give in to their wants now or in the future. Otherwise, our country will turn into a pawn. Swordland will not be controlled by any nation. Exactly. Not even Swordland. Exactly. Saul was right all along with his policies. I still haven't decided if they wish to come with a deal. Time will show if staying neutral will work out. Do I like Adisword? Is that one of these guys? I don't know what Adisword is. Tarkin Soul. Ah. I've enjoyed the idea of Tarkin Soul. He's right all along with his policies. Swordland will not be controlled by any nations. Precisely my point. We will stand strong and show an example to the rest of the world. I hope we won't regret it. Wait, that was the decision? When the time comes, I hope you will make the right decision for our own good. Such as Rizia, Lesbia. Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Minister. Whiskey will be in charge. We must first decide on our internal economic plan. We have to thank Saul and his planned economy for the boom, including shows the success of our system. Let's finish what Alfonso started with capitalist free market reforms. His path was going to enrich Swordland. What's on our long-term economic schedule? Choosing construction contractors, trade relations, tax reform, and privatization will be some of them. Sticking to a solid planned economy strategy will be the right call. The 5-year plans were fruitful in the past. Would a free market focus bring us stronger allies? It would make Arcasia look at our country in a more positive light. They are proponents of the free market economy. The influence of Arcasia has on the world economy is extensive. Our economic strategy should be based on internal reasoning, though. Let's move on to the conclusion. I don't want to go planned economy, but I also don't want to do... Well, let's move on to the conclusion. What are your final thoughts, Mr. President? This is a non-binding choice. Okay, well. Critical institutions must remain institute control. We must be fully responsible in delivering services. We should look at opportunities like privatization to create financial resources. It's hard to fully agree or disagree. We already know the market economy doesn't require as much guidance and could help us attract foreign capital. It's hard to fully agree or disagree with these options. In that direction, our ability to make an ability point still remains. Promote a free market economy as we promised. Okay. Lilius looks displeased. Now that there's clarity on which direction we are heading, I will work on a plan accordingly. Oh boy, more information dump. Okay, let's read the news. Tourism, a beacon of hope for Sutherland. Okay. Sutherland today, revealing Sutherland's tomorrow. Gazom. Gazom, totally not Gazprom. Okay. Is set to bolster infrastructure and support his ongoing development efforts. There's financial aid, logistical support, and blah blah blah. Economic meeting held in Holsford. Okay. You're totally not an Eastern European country, yeah. Armandine industry pioneering electronics. Okay. Okay. Freezing temperatures recorded. Radicals. Alfonso dishes Lothburg, a sign of discord. Nationalist violence. Ethnic background is an Agno-Sordish citizen. Okay. I guess we could continue with the information dumps. Surging demand for local wines. The sudden increase has led to a busy season for vineyards. Some crumbs from international interest. I mean, it's certainly driving economic activity in the cities. Excellent. And filing for unemployment in Morena continues to rise as the recession continues. Promising agricultural growth. First time in 3 years, the agricultural output of Sarna has increased. Many experts link the increased output to both a drop in temperatures and new farming practices. More generous credit allowances from the government that were left... okay. Okay, that sounds good. Kingdom of Riz. Rizia congratulates election victory. I'll call her kind of ethos and express a keen interest in fortifying bilateral ties. Yes, that sounds good. We should be friends with the Kingdom of Riz. Contanin Security Pact. CSP and the Federation of Anraka signed a historic non-aggression pact. Okay. They signed a 5-year non-aggression pact with the Federation of Ankaran Islands. It's peacefully extended its influence across the Ankaran archipelago, making blah 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 blah. We have capitalist influence of the ATO. Okay. More reports. Lenkerg. Recent collapse of the touristing industry in Lenkerg has led to a reduction in trade traffic and service, but is in need of substantial improvements. Okay, so more bad economic news. Lakehaven. Dispose oil extraction operations for essential maintenance. Well, Lumberg sounds scary, the giant kingdom here. And then there's totally not NATO and totally not Warsaw Pact to either side of us. So kind of, I'm hoping to try to hew a middle path and play the different factions off each other. Hopefully enjoying goodies from all of them. Okay. The recession led to reduced rail assets with more than a fifth rail in itself. Yeah, we'll go Yugoslav, which Yugoslavia famously never had any problems. While the main lines of the railway networks are currently in service, increasing demand in goods from Gelsford to the capitals, pushing the network to its limits. The rail signaling system in the region dates from the middle of the last century. It was also in need of improvement. Okay. Meeting with the media strategy. Oh, what's this? Oh, our connections. Oh gosh, there's even more information dump. Old Guard. Reformists. Oligarchs. Okay. Legislative. Judiciary. Yeah, there's the regional map. And there's national map. It's in this under the overview. Economy. As part of our economic policy, we are actively promoting a market economic system. Okay. Are there any new information? No. What are these connections? Okay, these are like people we know. Codex, journal. Oh, we're still on turn 1. Okay, well, let's go talk to the media. Lucien and Peter arrived at the blah blah media strategy. They will look at the seats across from me. Lucien puts on his reading glasses and quickly wrote over some documents. Greetings, gentlemen. Further information at the interior about the sudden fire that broke out at the Hulsford State University archives. Tell me more. Initial reports from the Hulsford police chief indicate potential arson case. In accordance with protocols, the Swedish Intelligence Directorate has been called. Sid, really necessary? Why would anyone hit the archives of a university in the first place? I see no logical motive here. Seems like the chief suspected foreign sabotage. They informed us that a large section of the archive has been destroyed, includes tens of thousands of globally recognized research documents and original by the great thinkers of our people. Hmm. Blame Runberg. Damn you, Runberg. We need to support our education system to make new discoveries for the future. Preserving our knowledge is an important expanding it. It's interesting that the employee records have been destroyed as well. Luckily, most originals have copies in the other universities and some internal national libraries. The first edition of my favorite book, Geopolitics of Swortland, was destroyed too. Maybe just a freak accident. We do have the copies of most important works, so no single fire can eradicate our knowledge. I see no point in destroying employee records either. More important, Marcel Coranti. Yeah, this is the criminal network guy, I think. Coranti's always been known as one of the richest and most influential. Marcel Coranti is no Zulasanoka, industrialist and media mogul who founded HOS, the richest man in the entirety of Swordland. This in turn to me. He has offered to meet you, Mr. President. What does he want? After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. Okay. Mention a productive collaboration. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Swordland Today newspaper, the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation, which means it would be wise to have them by your side. Sorry to interrupt. What does this productive collaboration entail? I did not wish to explain the details over the phone, but rather in person. I believe I will be receiving a call from him sometime soon. As Peter said, they have substantial power over the content of media outlets, headlines, and radio shows. That is what he would be offering. What he wants in returns is what we need to understand. It's like an area house. First, we need to run a general approach to media. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages. The other one is keeping it independent. Media must be independent. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of most importance to maintain public popularity and avoid damaging scandals or mistakes. Must stress one thing, Mr. President, the more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. I share your opinion. I concur. Everyone who don't use it, we should be able to have control over it. You both are aware of a certain expertise with public opinion swing. I will make sure the media is on our side. Who is it? Livia Suno. It's Livia, Mr. President. My new secretary. Okay. Most of the critical calls, scheduling, paperwork. Okay. Dirk Carlos, blah, blah, blah. Mr. President, Mr. Galade's secretary has been calling me and wanted to relay a message. Marcel Coranti, the new CEO for HOSCA, is on the line for Mr. Galade. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, or... Let's have him go ahead. You go ahead. Connect the line to my office. Good news indeed. Congratulations, Mr. Coranti. Thank you for contacting me about this. We'll talk later. Was so that it couldn't wait. He was just elected CEO by the board of directors. He offered a partnership deal regarding his media branch. He's inviting us to his resort near Conriat for a meeting. That is rather quickly. It seems to have gave him confidence to approach us again. A real deal now, and has the power to the colonizer too. The choice is up to you, Mr. President. I can set up the meeting soon. I'd like to hear your opinion. I have to say I'm torn. If he has become the CEO, then he has enormous influence now. On the other hand, do we want to privately meet with someone we don't fully know? A meeting would help us figure him out. We could still say no to whatever he offers. Let's arrange the meeting. Settled in. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Here's we're done for today. We will continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel. Keep it up. Guarding the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous one. Alright, let's read the news. Tourism, a beacon of hope. Sordland today. Conrad Caranti passed away. Okay. Suspicious fire. Suspicious fire. Okay. Got some hires. Freeze amid economic strains. Okay. Glamorous inaugural ball. Radicals are radical. Sordland's regional trade. Blah, blah, blah. Magnolia and Wayland have been natural trading partners. Between Gomlan and Volgsland intensifies. Leadership of Gulman, second female leader, blah blah, Brigade of Volgsland, Democratic Republic of Volgsland. Some pushing engine, blah blah. However, the internal factions backed by Velkus and socialism and content and Mallenism, it's challenge to Halvard's government. Okay. Rizia firmly refutes Pale. Oh wait, no, it's we already talked to him. Okay. Stability. That's not good. You need culture, however, the city lacks necessary infrastructure. Yes, I know we lack infrastructure, but I haven't been given an opportunity to do anything about it. Republic of Kairut. Oh, well, Kairut congratulates President Anton Rain in his recent election. Okay. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Declining energy output at Belgian Dam. Due to its age. Okay. Invest in mega infrastructure. Ministry of Economy has put forward two bold plans, mega infrastructure projects that would help with the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale would put some pressure on the budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. Let's think about that for a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're investigating the fire. will likely result in strong opposition from the National Front. Okay. Mega is infrastructure project possible. Well, you know what? Everything is telling us we need to invest in infrastructure. So let's invest in some mega infrastructure. All right. Campaign finance bill. Huge infrastructure. The best infrastructure. What is this? Personal wealth. Campaign finance bill. Okay. Electoral campaign finance bill. Section 1 of this bill. Blah, blah, blah. Political parties. Based on the number of votes won in a general proportion of the seats secured by political. Okay. 500 rand per each member of the assembly. The party's representative influence within the legislative body. Will effectively lead to a substantial increase in the election budget of the USP and a minor augmentation for other parties. Funding fosters a more proportional representative party presence within the assembly. The consequence of this, do not the 10% election threshold will see their public funding effectively curtailed. Yeah, this sounds great for me. Let's sign this. Yeah, this bill sounds great. Is that it? We just sign or don't sign? Huh. That doesn't seem to be in keeping with our... It was already in discussion. Assembly already voted. Well, okay then. Sounds good. We gotta listen to the parliament. Let's see what's in the news. Electoral funding reform. Signed into law. Blah, 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 blah. Funding package saying it contained too much unfairness in the allocation of vote. Also sought to delay precincts by an informal recorded vote, but was overruled. To the criteria for allocation of funding budgets, and introduces no changes to the total amount of public funds reserved for political parties, which stands as 100 million SR. What is the radical USP hijacks elections? A new law further expands on the unfairness of our election was approved by the Grand National Assembly. This insane law, all changes to the criteria, also results in the governing USP shares for the funds to double as Anton Rain's presidency begins. We at the Radical are already smelling the rot it holsters. Let's see. Overview. Unfair electoral funding. The recent electoral funding bill passed by the government as a result of something to change in the way political parties are funded. Under the new law, public election funding is only provided to parties that have secured seats in the assembly. This has resulted in a reduction of funding for parties that didn't enter the assembly. In contrast, the funding for the USP, the party in power, has doubled. Sounds good. Discussion of the potential infrastructure projects. The view towards Marquesian Sea from Loch Evan was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittingly named the Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. Looking at the view from the windows, I let my mind drift for a couple of seconds. Simon's voice brought me back to the ongoing discussion. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects. What can we focus on? On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holserd and Lackhaven. Lilius started talking as soon as Simon took a breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of proper highway connection between Lackhaven and Arvery. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse. We need to heed the calls of our businesses in these days of recession. We need to pick the most profitable option for economic growth. I think we go with the most profitable options for economic growth. It's obviously connecting our two most economically powerful cities. It's not business people who are suffering now, but the ordinary folk. What really matters is that your first economic act accomplishes something tangible. We must prove our capabilities. The people must know that the administration can get things done. We must improve the economy of the nation. I mean, both of these things are true. Must improve the economy of the nation and bring it out of recession. I defined two important projects for your attention. The H3 Highway Project and the L1 High-Speed Railway Project. The Ministry can only support one project at a time with our current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So which one do you want to hear about? The Highway Project. Aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in the Agnolod region bordering the Agnolia region. There is home to several million Agno-Sordish and Sordish citizens who currently feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections. Okay. It told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. Increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. Agreed, this could also hurt the local businesses. That must be cumbersome for the citizens. These bless their souls. I'm happy we're thinking alike on this matters. Let's take a more detailed look at the upgrade proposal. This is pointing at Lackhaven. It starts in Lackhaven. From there it leads to Lenkerg. And from there it goes all the way to Arvery. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital, Stallport, will improve substantially. As mayor, I saw the central government continuously neglect our country's Agno-Sordish dominated regions. Is it going to continue this kind of negligence? Our Agno-Sordish citizens should be respected as swords, like all of us. It makes little sense to put investments in such a remote region. We should no longer neglect a key region for our trade with Agnolia. Sure, but most goods flow to Lackhaven and Holsford, which means we should give more importance to logistics there. As we pointed out, the highway would be less beneficial in the short term. Is this a Sorbia rail? After this degree, it will increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. Agnolia. Very interesting, but I still want to hear about the railway project. Your predecessor Alfonso failed to deliver on this campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start the reconstruction of a groundbreaking railway project. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today, as many other countries adopt new electric engine technology to power up their trains. We're falling behind. Our business is interested. They too want to transport resources and material from Halsford to Lackavin with great speed and efficiency. Have led the way with their high-quality technology. We've got to keep up. This could also empower businesses and bring investment. I'm not fully convinced yet. Please explain further. Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holsford to Lackavin. It will transform into a high-speed railway. It's pointing at Holsford, while Simon was looking attentively. Okay. Right here in the capital. Then connect to Gelsford. It will leak Lackavin, our economic powerhouse. The L1 will significantly boost the economies of the newly linked cities and even rural areas between. Much faster. Investing in regions that are already developed makes a little sense. I kind of agree with the first one, even though I like the idea of rail. Developing a underdeveloped region would surely give us a greater return in investment over time. The mayor of Enrica Kernles also requested the project to be prioritized. We'll be very content, which is in turn will increase investment and employment. I will recommend the L1 high-speed rail project. So Simon and Gus both recommend the rail, and Lilius is pushing for the highway. I have settled on the decision. I've decided on the H3 highway project to improve the infrastructure in our poorer regions. I want to support the poorer regions, but that could be just throwing money after bad. Let's improve the infrastructure in our poorer regions. The negotiations will begin in the middle of this year. You will be able to award the contracts to a cooperation of your choice. The minister estimates that construction will be completed in 2 years if every step going forward is executed successfully. Good. Is there anything else? This should be all, Mr. President. Good to see you, Mr. Rain. Have a good day, Mr. President. Okay. Assignment started. Lackavin. Invest in Arcasian company stocks. Well, tourism is also economic activity. It's been relayed by Mr. Major. An experienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Arcasia is selling valuable shares in Armandine Industries, an up-and-coming electronics manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. Sure, let's use a little bit of our personal wealth. Well, buy 1,000 shares. Reception at the inaugural ball. Okay. I just finished buttoning up my suit jacket. Blah, blah. The ball was a 3 decades old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica. Oh, it doesn't say the love of my life anywhere. Monica Rain is the current first lady, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. Tonight there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Dina, your daughter, all right, hugged me from behind, startled me a little. Monica unfixed a ribbon, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Hello, darling, I am ready. Where's your brother? I think Frank is still upstairs. Well, this is a teenager. Getting sulky. Small's now to leave. Big ball starting less than an hour. Where's my first lady? Stay by my side. Now we're about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Kiss her hand. Embrace her. Kiss her hand. Always got to butter up the wife. Okay, hello, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. Now, there's that charm that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. I'm glad to have you with us on this big night. Sure, Dad. I'm just dying to go. I'm going to be around us from now on. Pointed at the presidential guards. Yes, Swordland's most important family needs extra protection. I can't leave ourselves. These people are our friends, Dina. Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son at my side. The party thrown for me. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. There we go. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Nice car. With all that's been happening, I'm wondering if I made the right choice. I was thinking that we've come a long way together, haven't we? I'm going to help Papa fix everything. I know you will, honey. This means a great deal to me. After what seemed like a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Blah, blah, blah. Here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the ride. How are you today? Just as good as it would be. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. politicians, bureaucrats, celebrities. Good luck out there, Mr. President. See you on the trip home. Managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognize the Swordfish Broadcasting Company logo on her press closure. Mr. President, Mr. President. Do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? Well, we're going to work with everybody. Sir Richard clarified that as long as you hold your promises of democratization, they will support you on these issues. To that end, what do you think about this statement? I can't comment since I haven't seen... I can't comment since I haven't seen his statement yet. One more question. One of your first acts as presidents was to sign a campaign finance law, blah, 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 blah. To fund the Communist Party and the Bludia Workers' Party, neither of which have reached the election threshold. It was agreed upon by the majority of the GNA. I couldn't use my veto on the first day. That's enough, man, said one of the guards while nudging the reporter away from me. A path through the crowd was now open. We quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. Okay, we entered the lobby. Yada yada yada. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There you are, the most beautiful family in Swordsland. Uncle Peter. Hi, Uncle Peter. Great to see you. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm sticking with you. Having seen a familiar face. Peter's wife Evelyn approach. Congratulations. Was clear to me from the beginning. Appreciate it, Evelyn. It means a lot. There's a woman behind every successful man. What a gem. Monica, how are you? You barely said a word. I am more than relieved, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yes. Don't be so old-fashioned. Rights for sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton? As long as you don't burn the roast, am I right, Peter? To a point, yes. They mustn't neglect their responsibilities. Absolutely. We'll work together to achieve that. Dina suddenly jumped in between us and tugged on my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. Yes, it's time. Let's go. Move to the ballroom. We left the lobby, made our way towards the ballroom. There's a crowd. Spent the next few hours shaking hands, blah, 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 blah. I settled down at our dinner table. Oof, that was tiring. We have to get used to it. Well. Oh! The instrument stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I looked towards, realization dawning on both our faces. Fireworks? No, gunshots! As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Get down, shield Monica and the kids. Threw myself on Monica and Frank and shoot to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it, we shouldn't have come. Chaos broke out as guests flung themselves under their tables, and I was ran. Three more gunshots. Carl Geiser, Chief of Police. Are you alright? Carl Geiser, head of the Swordfish, was running towards us with three officers and decorator. They had all had their guns drawn. As soon as we made it to us, we saw that they were unharmed. He let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God. Check the perimeter. follow my lead. We'll bring them to the safe room. Yeah, very lively. Do not worry. The situation is now under control. Please follow me. His attention on the way. Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round the corner. Quiet, please. You hear, shut up. Carl flipped the switch on the wall, the panel opened. Safe room is comfortable and spacious with expensive looking letters. So this. There's a boardroom, blah blah blah. So tell me, Carl, do I have outsourced security force? So what's the status? Good news, we're not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with. The perimeter has been secured by guards and the police. If I may, sir. He gestured towards a more private corner of the room. So what we know so far, we have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reasons to believe he was working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus. Oh, this is the communist guy. It's huge. Anton, this will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Was it even a coup? Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes, handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Dina and Frank. He paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. Comfort Monica and the kids. We're safe. I'll make sure everything's going to be fine. So I'm going to see this through and keep my family safe at all costs. I crushed a cigarette in the ashtray. Alright. Connections updated. Well, let's read the news. Sordland today. MP shot. Nation in shock. Sordland has been shocked by the grave news today as an elected member of parliament has been shot dead in suspected political assassination. The heart of the capital during the new president's inauguration. As worried many citizens, Red Youth has reported to have promised revenge. This seemed... Rain opened the talk. Ration ball. No documentation, but maybe he's the massacre. Okay. Connections? What's the change? It's a Swedish politician and Blutish descent. I hope we can get this guy on our side. I want to solve the Blutish problem. In a good way, not a bad way. I know chat's ready to jump on me for that. Freaking chat. Alright, emergency meeting. Let's read the report. Murder of Bernard Circus, mirror, blah blah blah. Okay. Emergency meeting. The situation room was gloomy. Oh, we get to talk to Mr. Potato Head. The cabinet members were gathered. This is all very interesting, but there is a real problem. I'm out of coffee, so I'm going to be right back. All right, we're back. Yep, where Poirot has his murder case. Lucas Graff, Bernard Circus, has shot dead. Elected independent member, assembly, as you know, a famous communist. The last word out with some distaste. Guards were seen. Immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as a member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. Okay. The president and his family were unharmed. Praise God. What were the motivations of such a horrid act? Our investigators are suspecting a political assassination, but the young swords have been threatening the communists for some time. This may well create a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence of the 1920s could spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. The Morgana is served just aside. The Red Youth has condemned the killing, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the young swords. This whole cycle started because Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Oh, she sounds great. Freedom of expression is part of our constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I fully agree, we should protect the freedom of speech. All is due, and for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before, now blah blah blah. I hear your concerns. Our police will do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We'll prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are reevaluated. Granted approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Yosef, the great potato of a man. Agreed, Bob. Our gendarmerie will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more violence to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. It is political though, isn't it? Yes, but we need to calm the country. If we take sides, we could escalate the situation further. There aren't many sides. The state versus its enemies. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everyone went silent. Regardless, a full investigation into all involved parties is underway, and we'll find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. He does. I love this guy. I'll do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Justice will be served, and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. Yes, I just love this potato of a man. What's to give out the upcoming budget? Too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences, and I agree, internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. We should not lose sight of our real political goals, like the constitutional reforms. Well, he's the Minister of the Interior, right? Minister of Defense and Security. Too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have the full picture. It seems that the tensions between the communists and the nationalists will escalate further. Can't fix the recession if there is instability. We will make it through this and deliver our promises. Okay. Some news. Murder at the palace. Okay. Okay. I guess the only option is to click continue. Doesn't seem to be anything else to do here. A few days later. Alright, lots of exclamation marks and other things. Read the report. Overburdened and staff from the police force in Ashford. Okay. 2 understaffed to deal with the ongoing political violence. Young Swords, youth wing leader dead after terror attack. Legal KA-74s. Cash of Rumberg made weapons, including K-47 brand new KA-74s. Uh-huh. Oh dear. Been detained yet? Okay. Salt dam at max. The salt dam has reached its maximum capacity. As operational efficiency is under scrutiny. Okay. Beijing security forces raided local blah blah blah. This party leader is suspected of bomb attack. Oh dear. Has been arrested in connection with the incident. Been seized in cultural center. Smolak warns traders. Later, Wellen warned us regarding a pathway from the mountains of Bergia that allowed traders of the state escaping to Swordland. Has demanded that the border security be increased. He has also sent his best wishes about the handling of the protests in Swordland. Republic of Agnolia. Horton critiques trade. Has been difficulty for imbalance of trade between our countries. Concerns were raised over how much more Swordland profits from net trade in comparison to Agnolia. Request a fair reevaluation of existing treaties and future negotiations. Okay. Holsford. It's a briefing, lots of news. Holsford Post. Okay. Shot dead. Received threats from Source Nationalists. A group of leading ministries filled the hunt for the killers. Around in some city there, the local police have reported increased security measures that stand ready for a massive attendance. There's 2 paths to the future, blah blah blah. Mid-year recession, the lack of stability, blah blah blah. How will we increase our employment and open new factories if there's blood flowing down the streets? Piece of property now for forever. The way out of recession, bailing out businesses. Okay. Murder was a method of the past. Left and right extremists. We are calling for peaceful protests to blah blah. Over young swords assassinating a member. We all okay. A farewell to Bernard Circus. It was a sad day for Swordland. Condemn this evil act of terror for the young swords. Symbol of freedom of speech. Was murdered. Beautiful C hasn't crossed yet. Okay. Driver serve. Blah, blah, blah. Bogsland labor unions drive further decentralized economic growth. Oh. Hmm. Bogsland worker cooperative. Blah 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 blah. Vision of decentralized egalitarian society. Mm-hmm. Arcadian PMC. The Kaizen Private Military Corporation, Plantor, Elantor, sources real several multinational corporations. Interesting. Okay. It's in the report. Chief of two bluish women with fellowship bluish fruit in front have been caught in Holsford. They could execute a terror attack at Crowds Rally. Dinner with the family at home. Let's have dinner. There is my bright little daughter. How was school? I like my old school better. There's only one band man, and yes, he's gone now. Darling, you shouldn't have. What do we have a cook for? I just can't make your favorites like I can. You mean... Yes, Lorsha. Lorsha was a blah blah blah. Seafood stew with Haiti garlic and paprika kick. Just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. After what happened at the ball. We'll eat in just a minute. Will you help me set the table? He's been sulking in his room all day. Knock on the door. Knock on the door again. Bang on the door. Alright, alright. Turn those records up louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. Haha. Okay. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were the president for 20 years, for example? 20 years of this, I'd be dead. gonna do. We're just gonna sit here like nothing happened. Could have been calm. Any of us could have died. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you. And yet we are all still alive. Hmm. Fine, let's talk about it now. Sit down. I know it was a close call, but everything is under control. How is it under control? My security assured me that they took all the necessary steps. Right, listen to your father. If we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. Food in silence. Frank got a purse for retreat back room. You should fill up, blah blah blah. That's what worries me. He made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. I worry too. Things might escalate. Was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. Oh, there's some city information. Widespread protests. Also more news? Protests in Grinny. Political chaos. They're roaming in the streets. Okay. NFP office burned. Okay. Did all this happen because I had dinner with my family instead of going to the meeting? Drawing international criticism of the issue of labor, blah 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 blah. Going capitalism influence Arcadia. Yeah, I should take a good holiday. Timely passing. Okay. Alright, door leading to the situation room. In two parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. Take some steps into a runner. Yeah, seems like a great idea. Just going to... I do have to stop the stream shortly before noon. So I'm just going to set a alarm so I don't forget. Okay. blah blah blah. Right. The second part of the Minister of Defense, Joseph Lancy. Okay. As well as Vulcan Kruger. Open the door, blah blah blah. Sir. Let's begin. Except for Lucien, he put on his glasses and went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head to address the attendees. We'll kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I'll jump into the first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. Reports around the country indicate tensions are rising as we feared. What is the status on Bernard's circus investigation? Received news this morning that the investigation into the murder case has concluded. These are nice. The more we know, the better. After further investigation and testimonies, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to this shooting. A few days prior, a member of blah 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 initiated a violent attack on young swords. A local leader in Gen believed the young swords then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against the young swords and nationalist sentiments in the assembly, he was a big target, not to mention radical communist views. Brief are clearly to blame since they triggered it. Political violence needs to stop. Yes, we've kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there are now new triggers. There's a section in the document. Revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have a clear link to the United Contana. Are you sure? Yes, we have found the cash trail. Several Red Youth members have ties to United Contana, have been detained, and extracted from them points to preparations for a communist uprising in Swordland. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think in this case it's a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Swordland. I went over the report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. United Contana has humanitarian cultural ties with many countries, including Swordland. I also don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. They funded General Rickard and tried to establish communist dictatorship in her country. If it's not for Colonel Saul, we would have seen a real crisis. Let's link the funding channel to United Contana and Consulate Benfi. Can't believe you're not a rabid anti-communist. Why would I be a rabid anti-communist? We need to remain vigilant as a threat to... As the government, we have all the power to deal with any threat. Our country always had issues. This is part of our job. Give the essential freedoms to purchase temporary security. We deserve neither freedoms nor security. We rejected trains. This is debatable, but yes, we know that more security and surveillance caused this country under President Saul. Let's not forget that President Saul, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos, but moving on. Our highest internal threat comes from this estimated 20,000 stalled British Freedom Front, led by the imprisoned Dwellin Arge. They are a banned political organization, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. Make a lot of noise, but of little substance. A barking dog doesn't bite. Are they supported by our Bluish citizens? Are they cooperating with any Bluish political organizations? Are they supported by Bluish citizens? To some extent. Luckily, they couldn't attract a wide audience of Bloods. But they could potentially attract thousands if anti-Bluish sentiment spreads in Swordland again. There's 3 in the report. Our intelligence set 2 crates filled with weapons close to Rumberg border. They were filled with military-grade KA-74s. Small within, a group of Blood were caught with these guns at a checkpoint not too far away. Is already taking necessary measures to counter the threat. Has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. I am not surprised that they would attempt to weaponize village people against us. This is worrying, very worrying. Can we make any direct correlation between BFF and Rumberg? Not yet, but we have suspects that indicate such a correlation. Should increase with his increasingly anti-Bluish stance. He's using the powers given to him by Tarkin Saul. The current sanctions Morgana, the president can no longer has the authority Tarkin Saul enjoyed. For now, yes. Tell me more about the special zone. Special status by Tarkin Saul. Disastrous for Bergia dwell in Arga. The BF declared war on us, openly attacked our people and entire cities. I pointed that the longest time they were in control of a city was 2 weeks. I wouldn't call it an occupation. Was never revoked. He's in trouble with the law before. Okay. Our forces have authority to serve in Bergia. The special zone leaves the security of Bergia mostly in the hands of the governor. It's my hands tied. There's the situation is that the Ministry of the Interior doesn't have full control of Bergia's security. The discrimination Bergia suffers is maddening. It is the gang violence that has threatened Nargis and Agland regions. Two prominent organized crime families are at war. Israel. What's known as Coronelli. Skinner Cartel. Playing with fire, I want them gone for good. This is because corruption is so common in our country. They buy our police officers and slip by checkpoints. I shall be honest with you, with our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia and Nargis. If the law enforcement budget is increased, I can't be responsible, so our police units are spread thin as it is. In light of this, I might increase the law enforcement budget. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gangs. Our budget. Valid points. Corruption is a root and evil after all. Valid points. Corruption is the root of all evil after all. And kicking the can down the road, that's what is institutions. Thank you for the overview. Along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense. Mr. President, let's begin. Joseph, welcome. General Kruger on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward, saluted, you had a strong job, blah blah blah. Saturdays he had a bulky body that was a result of his commando training. He's the longest serving. General Kruger, shake his hand, salute him, I guess salute him? Thanks for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Take the seats at the table. Situation at the western and northern borders was very tense. We are observing deployments of divisions closer to our border. Okay. Let's also intervened in Agnolia. Now they have turned their sights on us. I trust capabilities of our this concerns me very much. What is your current strategy? Patrolling close to the border with our border force and keeping army reserve divisions near. It seems they want to increase pressure both externally and internally. If I may, please, General. Picture's becoming clear. The latest information from the interior about weapons caches. Military build up close to our border. Future territorial incursion by Rumberg. Complete trust in the General Staff. Will not let you down, Mr. President. General Staff is composed of their smartest military individuals. Require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Lincoln is right, but we do need an increase in budget, although we don't see eye to eye exactly how to spend the budget. That much we agree on. Number 2, we need strong allies to withstand such a superior power. They are our nemesis. Times are changing. Must be prepared. You said nothing about focusing. I asked you to consider an increase in military budget. The future and safety of Swordsland is in your hands. I'm a man of my word, Yosef. Maybe you're right. Defense of our nation is more important. Hey there, Merrick. Coming danger. I'm a man of my word, Yosef. Maybe you're right. As you said, times change, Yosef. Maybe you're right. This would crumble under a decrease, and Rumberg would be much more compelled to exploit our weakness. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading force for 200 years. You cannot let it happen, Mr. President. Epsia to deter Rumberg. There are several options on the table. Like Logsend, Kami's Lepsia. Yeah, Lepsia sounds like a good option. These options should be considered. I pandered others when we can solve these issues ourselves. Thrown on Palace Island when a soldier entered the room and let Yosef know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. There's been a Rumbergian military activity close to the Narbel border. Just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call to action. Jeez, okay. Make sure they know we are observant and ready. Remain calm. Hail Swordland. Hail. Okay. Switzerland has always been a key piece in the chessboard, a global rivalry between Arcasia and United, but not in the recent years. There was no such aggression from Roenberg, not at these levels at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. The phone rang. Roenberg has decided to close their consulate in Lakavan. Uh-oh. Diplomatic pressure. Nationwide revolt. Oh boy. Arcasia develops first ICBM. Okay. What's in the news? Protests across Swordland. Rumors of an infrastructure product. Very qualified experience in companies like Underhill Construction win the bid. Underhill Construction was once again picked as the #1 construction company of the year by reputable statistics of Swordland. Was it Underhill? We think this is a great time to invest in Underhill Construction, as the current construction will show 30% increase in growth. Okay. Gang violence claim young girl's life. Real truth behind economic crisis. 1927. Antarctica, blah 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 blah. Okay. First goes and it's Carlson with Swordland. Okay. What's the report? Branch of Nurity has gained significant following in the city of Erezin, mainly due to limited actual state education and employment. Expect to be behind the sudden increase in Glancondism. Most popular religious groups of the region, however, officials fear blah blah blah. Okay. Widespread protests. Widespread protests, and there's a report. United Contana's consulate helped protesters. Many injuries. Counter protest was corner. Okay. React to unrest. End of day at the Marin Palace. What's the overview here? Order. Currently facing wide process as a result of recent events. Increasingly tense. Okay. Diplomatic pressure. Okay. How do we react to the unrest? Political blah 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 blah. Several action plans that we can execute. Help restraint on national television. Visit affected towns in person. Label all protesters as traitors. Expand the police by deploying all recruits in training. Reject the plans. Let's call for a call for peace. President Rain calls for restraint. We call on everyone to restrain themselves. Characterize the situation as first step in the Civil War, and saying Swordsman would be dispelled as forces of reason did not prevail. It was late in the evening when I returned my office at the top. A girl approached the chair. Had been an exhausting day, just like every other day since I took office. Lean back and relax. Knocks on the door. My secretary, Olivia Suno, entered. Mr. President, Mr. Tusk is here to see you. Millionaire businessman. Ah, okay. You had a meeting with the Lothburg spokesman? I'm so sorry. We're not giving you proper notice. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your understanding. After a moment, Mr. Tusk swaggered into the room. I'd met Sordland's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who was used to getting his way. You can drink, Mr. Tusk, water, whiskey, cognac, preferably from before you were born, sweetheart. I'll check the supply room. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see was lined with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm here to congratulate you. We both sat down. My business partners and I wish you a successful term as leader of our nation. Thank you, Mr. Tusk. I had no choice to say this at the ball with all the panic, but we're very much looking forward to working with you. Likewise. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some concerns of mine and the people I represent, which I would like to take this opportunity to clear up. I'm listening. The ruined state of the economy in Sordland has influenced everyone. The recession hit us all hard. I had these brought from Lesbia, the best cigars on the whole continent. Would you like to try one? You go ahead, I don't want to smoke. This little Scarlet, he looked out towards the city scenery as he puffed away. I heard that you purchased the stock from Armadine Industries in Arcasia. Smart buy. They are developing new gadgets that are going to be profitable. I figured, why not take the chance? Just for the cigars? No. With risk comes reward. I expect a very good return. I figured, why not take the chance? It's much worse to live with regrets and what ifs. I will buy a couple thousand of shares too to expand my portfolio. Hope the investments pay off for both of us, Mr. President. His eyes wandered away for a moment. We're having a good start to the term for sure, besides the slight troubles, I mean. I'm glad that you have decided to promote the free market, which is the only thing that can get us out of this mess. We had nothing but troubles so far, and economy is not the only concern. It is good that we think alike on the matter. To a closer relationship, then. One that will bring Sordland out of this crippling recession. He grinned. The highway investment was a good call. The high-speed rail would have been better, especially for business logistics. Intention of the administration is to boost the industry. The Anglin region was in dire need of investment. Here's where most profits can be made for the treasury. We could be close allies. The group at Lothburg can help you get Sordland out of the recession, which will which will be the key problem to solve in your term and could even determine your re-election. Let's start with a gesture of goodwill. Soon the investment project contract will be ordered to one of the 3 main contenders. He pulled a check out of his pocket and slid it towards me on the table. My personal bank details are listed on it, with a deposit of 500 Swedish ren ready to be transferred. This was 6 months of a president's salary. Wow. Just bold-faced lie. Bold-faced bribe. The contract were somehow awarded to Underhall Construction. They would not only work hard to deliver, but also on time. Cash in hand. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Wouldn't that be good? He puts it in his finger on the check. So, just so we're not misunderstanding each other. There's a noise at the door. I was standing there holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. Sorry, Mr. Tusk, but all I could find was a 1940 Savigny. I hope that's acceptable. If we put the tray in the desk and walked out. Tusk eyed her as she left. This reminds me to visit your office more often. Now where were we? Do we have a deal? Indeed, Mr. Tusk. I'm looking forward to our future transactions. Take bribe. No, I will make my own decision. Did you think I was just another corrupt politician? If this is what you came here for, then we are done here. Thank you for the visit nonetheless. It was good to share opinions. We shall meet again in the future for sure. Oh, I almost forgot. Please say hello to Mr. Caronti for me. He smiled. Have a good evening, President. Walter Stoke grabbed his jacket and made his way towards the door. He closed the door behind him. I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. You so bold, Mr. President. Did you accept his offer? Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. How could you even ask me that? Other girls have told me about all kinds of dealings that went on during the Alfonso administration. I wasn't sure if you were that kind of president. New sheriff in town and he's bald. Don't worry your pretty head about it, but don't worry your pretty head about it, Toots. I am certainly not. She and I took a moment to look out over the lights of the city before heading down to the elevators. Alright, let's see what's on the news. Foreign Gasom engineer salaries under scrutiny. Significantly higher wages. Current blah blah. Decree. Well, had suggested President blah. I think the country's okay. List calls for corporate responsibility in Narble. Reform demands gain popularity. Okay. Farmers' reform tax are coming out of the assembly. Okay. Workers' Party Solidarity March. We will again foil this war plot. Okay. Had an encounter with 2 members of local police. detained a policeman in charges of corruption. Low literacy rates. Police forces in the city are struggling. Lack of healthcare services. Organized crime. Jeez, okay. Marble's having a hard time. Okay. Economic release plan. Enact to ease the economic hardship felt in the country. With the assistance of the National Business Council and the Central Bank, plan to mitigate the economic hardship in the... Provide stimulus checks for people in need. Bail out businesses under financial strain. Don't enact the plan. I don't like the idea of a bailout. Grand Duchy of Pales. Formal address issued cautionary statement regarding the citizens of Risian activities. Okay. Finalization of the H3 highway project. Alright, let's do the... Oh, I have to make a decision here. Put forward a country can either provide stimulus checks for people in need, or bail out businesses under serious financial strain, or decide not to approve the plan. Let's buy some popular support. Stimulus checks for people in need. Weak transportation links. Stimulus checks. Look, it's green. Food and rent. Okay. Okay. Employment and checks for populism and aid will solve the problems of the economy overall. It's hard to grasp where these ideas come from, especially when long-time job growth and employment is what this country needs. Help comes at last. The new administration led by President Rain has accomplished a great feat by providing stimulus checks to people in need. These started going out as soon as the act was approved by the president himself, and all eligible people in the lower income brackets received nearly 4 months of the average salary on a single day. Representing very well with the populace. When the people were in dire need of help and suffered, the president came to their aid. Okay, maybe this will chill out all the radicals. Alright, let's go take a look at the highway thing. The lengthy drive on cliffside roads, we arrived in Lenkirk, where crowds of cheering citizens greeted us, with the local government officials escorted us to the city hall. We were here for a significant meeting about the H3 project. Several construction companies sent their representatives to City Hall. Besides starting our economic recovery, this project will cut the time it takes to get us here and road by half, Mr. President. More importantly, it will lead to improvements in England. I have lived with these people and seen them suffer. I hope so, Lilius. I trust your plan. With the highway, we will be well on our way to economically circling this weak region. 50,000 citizens from England employment. What kind of end results do we expect? Short-term employment and long-term economic development in the Nargis and Anglan regions. The underground facilities in Lenkirk and Arvery will receive a lot more investment after this. I have the overview of companies here. Look at the files. 3 companies were listed. The Swedish State Corporation. Due to the recession, somehow corrupt management structure. Okay. Owned by the Americano, Christian. Taurus Holdings. A new and entrepreneurial private company that uses cutting-edge construction technology from Arcasia to reduce construction costs and prices. Okay. Viewed them. I also took the liberty of asking the mayor of Arvery to give his opinion on the matter. It's founded in 1946 and owned by the entrepreneurial Gerald Faze. It's a new holding company whose subsidiaries use cutting-edge technology. Costs they are known to provide for their workers, who are part of the labor union of Swordland. There are other things that does very well, like providing consultants for state corporations, but I can't vouch for their infrastructure construction at all. Why should we pick Taurus? Would fit our election promise of switching to a free market economy. Awarding conscious, privately owned corporations would be a step in the right direction. Taurus has completed fewer projects than the other companies, however, they are slightly faster and cheaper. It won several awards internationally for being one of the fastest growing and advanced companies. The aspect of professionally, they are only involved in smaller scale regional projects. This doesn't prove their for larger undertakings that are more complex. They would be able to finish the project without allocated funding. They are the only company who found the budget sufficient, making them a cheaper alternative. Definitely worth considering. Sawyer State Corporation. The respective Sawyer State Corporation, also known as SSC. It is the main state corporation tasked with running day-to-day construction services of our country. One of the most trusted and honorable companies. They have served for us for a long time. Worked with them on several occasions. It goes against your election promise of moving away from a state-planned economy. Most importantly, the Sawyer State Corporation uses outdated methods, resulting in slower construction. Shows us the problem. I don't agree with your negative statement, Simon. The SSC's record certainly shows completed contracts with thousands of employees who have more than 20 years of experience. According to the preliminary calculations, they would need more resources to finish a project of this size. -2 government budget? Oh boy. Underhaul construction. Blah blah blah. I think this corporation would fit our market policy. This Chris Sharp. Blah blah blah. I had to work with before in Holsford. They accepted several contracts for the renovations of our central station and left much to be desired. Shouldn't be left to them. How was your experience with them? Out of all the 3, this is company I trust the least. They seem to fail at respecting the contract's terms for their workers. They're likely to cause trouble. I'm not too sure about trusting them with the contract, but at least they have worked on several mega projects and always delivered on time. We need to be able to trust the corporation. Working conditions must be respected. This doesn't inspire confidence. According to them, the tight completion schedule necessary such bad later conditions. We'll go over budget, but the project will. I'll decide which company will be awarded. Let's go with Taurus. Since they don't cost me anything. Surely nothing will go wrong. I've settled on Taurus Holdings. good that we are staying consistent with our economic strategy. Very well, Mr. President. I wish the outcome, but at the end of the day, the success of the project is what matters. I think we're off to a good start. Thank you. This concludes the meeting. Okay. Oh, got some news. Construction begins for the H3 highway. Designing construction work as part of the H3 highway expansion project in Swordland. We could build the line much stronger than planned and at a much lower cost. According to the letter seen by The Economist, the SP, blah, blah, blah. Hundreds of kilometers. Okay. Risky highway project. New mega infrastructure project to help alleviate symptoms of the recession. Where the project was given to an experienced company named Taurus Holding. Okay, well, let's see. We have to show a willingness to support our new and funky companies. So, situation with secessionists, there's like widespread unrest. Meeting with Marcel Coranti. Meeting set by Marcel Coranti. Oh, let's go on. I don't have the most confidential, trustworthy team members with me. 3 hours of driving, we took a turn for the Kariat. Where are we, Serge? Are you nearing the HOS Country Club, Mr. President? We'll be there shortly. I arrived. Okay. The journey was comfortable. The location is very remote indeed. Very exclusive country club to people who value their privacy. Marcel was standing in the window looking outside the beautiful complex. He turned around and gave a quick look at us both. He was a strikingly handsome man with well-groomed hair. He walked towards me, his hand extended reached out for a handshake. Had a firm grip. It's such a pleasure to meet you in person. Blah, 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 blah. He's indeed a great man. Please accept our condolences. We are sad. This from Mr. President. Let's talk about our bright future. Let's have a seat. Past living, to say the least. We're unharmed in the shooting. This has been a shock for the kids. They were startled, but the important thing is they are safe and sound. Of course, that is all that matters. No family should suffer from tragedy, blah, 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 blah. Well, I am known for a straightforward person. So let me get to the point without wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by how you managed to do with the party. Look at the painting. In this piece depicted a giant sleeping beneath a village. The trees, rivers, and hills were all part of the giant's body. Its eyes are 2 caves looking up at the people. It showed daylight on the firelight. We'll be watching the video on else. You said we will transform this nation, Mr. Rain. My conglomerate has a way of doing things, and I don't want them to change. So I want to cooperate with you. Please explain future. You don't have the people's support now, Mr. President, but what happens when you make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes. What is that supposed to mean? Let's hear his point, Vice President. Being a president in this country means having many enemies, enemies that would resort to anything to bring you down. Let's say these enemies cause a scandal or leak sensitive information from the administration. These would be destructive once they were released. If they were released. Continue. Now, assume that the press would actually protect your integrity no matter what, that the people I reach, up to 5 million of them, will not lose faith in you. What do you want in return? I want two things, Mr. President. Number one is a guarantee from you that the Reign administration won't meddle in HOS affairs. No matter what happens. Number two is a simple gentleman's favor for the future. Let me prove my services to you first. I'm sure you won't disapprove when the time comes. How do I know that I can trust you? My circle advised against this. They don't even know we are meeting. Mr. President, we are both putting ourselves at risk here, and I'm willing to trust you. The question is, are you willing to trust me and accept this offer? What do you think about this, Lucian? I think it is a good deal. He is right. We will need the media support. With his newspapers and channels on our side, we can dodge a lot of bullets. The one thing that bothers me, though, is his favor request. We do not know what he'll ask for, and it could be something that endangers our administration. So do we have a deal? Getting the media on my side would be very useful. And you know, this is just a free market businessman. And we have a deal. As soon as you know that a story against you will break, please call me, and it will be taken care of. I hope you will uphold your end of the bargain as well. Shake his hand. Till we meet again. Good night. Situation up to media bias. Oh, is it a green one? Okay. The Canadian Sutherland is facing a significant challenge due to the organized interference for both the state and private organizations, controlling narrative and shaping public opinion in favor of specific agendas. Okay. Oh, you know, it's biased for the good. Okay, but I have to go. So I'm gonna doesn't seem to be a save option. It auto saved the second ago. Ah, okay, very good. So if I return and we go continue, does it bring me back to where we were? Yeah, okay, so it seems to have brought me back to the exact same spot. Okay, very good. So yeah, thank you, Kaladin, for suggesting this game. It's great. I'm really enjoying it, and we will likely be streaming more of this and continuing the story of the Great Barony. Let's see if there's anybody else streaming out there. Oh, Franconian is streaming something. Also FGs. I guess I'll send you guys over to FGs. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll catch you all next time.